Okay, this is RayJ2 here, and it's time for another MLP review. Today it's the Season 3 finale, Magical Mystery Cure. This season has been hit or miss for me, so I was hoping for a good finale, especially after last week's bland episode. Did we get a deserving finale or a disappointing ending? Let's find out. We start the episode off with a song, Morning in Ponyville. This season has been lacking in songs, so I was glad to be getting one right away. It's about Twilight singing about how everything is going to be just fine. This usually means that things are not going to be fine. Right on cue, Twilight notices that Rarity has Rainbow Dash's Cutie Mark and is having major trouble controlling the weather. What the heck is going on? And the song itself is pretty good too. Confused as to what is going on, Twilight goes to check up on Rainbow Dash, who is living in Fluttershy's cottage for some reason. Sure enough, Rainbow's Cutie Mark is also wrong, because now she is apparently Fluttershy. Oh, and I was pleasantly surprised at not only another song, but one better than the one before it. The song, What My Cutie Mark Is Telling Me, covers the other ponies' Cutie Mark mix-up. Rainbow has Fluttershy's and is having a horrible time trying to control the animals in the cottage. Fluttershy has Pinky's, but she's unfunny and can't make a pony laugh to save her life. Pinky has Applejack's, but she's so out of shape from eating sweets and partying all the time that she can't even do a single chore right. Applejack has Rarity's, but is only able to sew together the latest in hobo wear. And of course, Rarity has Rainbow's. I love how Rarity's idea of weather patterns are supposed to be stylish and not, actual weather patterns. So how did this mix-up happen? At first, I was thinking, Discord, he's backed up to his old tricks again. Well, it turns out it has nothing to do with Discord at all, it's actually Twilight's fault. In a flashback to the previous night, Twilight recalls getting a spell book from Princess Celestia. On the last page happens to be the unfinished masterpiece of Star Swirl the Bearded. Celestia gives the book to Twilight in hopes that she could finish the spell. That's a hell of a tall ordeal. So anyway, Twilight casts the unfinished spell just to see what it does, and it turns out that is what switched up all of her friends' cutie marks. Nice going, Twilight. Next up is song number 3, I've Got to Find a Way. In this song, Twilight sings about how she's got to find a way to fix things. Why not just recast the spell over and over again until the marks are correct? Maybe that doesn't work because it's too obvious. Anyway, at this point I was thinking that this could definitely be a musical episode, and I was right. To be honest, this episode has a lot of ground to cover, so turning it into a musical is one of the smartest things they could have done. There's only so much story you can tell in 21 minutes. So it turns out all Twilight needed to do was take a good hard look at a picture of all of her friends, and suddenly she knows exactly what to do. So it's off to visit Fluttershy, who's just about to leave town, and ask her if she could help Rainbow with her animals. Hey, what do you know? It turns out that Fluttershy is really good at understanding animals. All it takes is food, apparently, maybe a soft voice as well. But now Fluttershy is back to normal. Now it's time to help the others through song number 4, A True True Friend. Yet another awesome song. By the end of the song, Twilight has an epiphany and she knows the words to finish Star Swirl's spell, and it's friendship related, who would have thought. So it's off to the library to test it out. Upon reciting the new spell, every pony's element of harmony goes crazy and shoots colorful energy directly at Twilight, resulting in a smoking crater in the ground. Oh no, it's the death of Twilight Sparkle. I'll bet her friends were really upset. This is when things get weird. Floating in a void in space, Twilight meets Celestia, who congratulates her on finishing the spell and that she's ready to move on to the next level. You know what that means, right? Song number 5, Celestias Ballad. You know what else that means? Alicorn Twilight. I admit, I really didn't like the idea of Alicorn Twilight at first because it reeked of meddling from Hasbro to sell more toys, but then again, this is what Hasbro has done to all their animated shows since the 80s, so I put my faith in the writers to sell this story, and they kind of did. To be honest, it could have gone a lot worse, and the songs helped out a lot. Could you imagine telling this story without the songs? It would feel like a rushed mess. I think some people think this episode felt rushed anyway, but I thought it moved at a brisk pace. Yes, there is a difference. I really wanted to see how Twilight's friends reacted to her newfound alicorn status, but it turns out no one's really disturbed or freaked out. Instead, everyone is super happy and cheerful. I guess I should have expected that from a show called Friendship is Magic. So with all that out of the way, it's back to Canterlot to officially crown the new princess with yet another song. Behold Princess Twilight Sparkle. After the coronation ceremony, it's time for song number 7. This is the last one, I swear. Life in Equestria. Okay, so final thoughts. Beginning was awesome. I really liked the Switch Cutie Mark subplot. Even though it was resolved quickly, it was still fun to see the montages of all the different ponies dealing with their troubles and then later on rediscovering who they were. Secondly, holy crap, the songs in this episode were fantastic. I thought this season was lacking when it came to songs, but this episode has pretty much redeemed the entire season, song-wise anyway. This episode was going to live or die based on the quality of its music, so I'm glad the composer, Daniel Ingram, did such a great job at letting the songs tell such a large part of the story. My 2 favorite songs from the episode as of right now are What My Cutie Mark Is Telling Me and A True True Friend. Things got weird once Twilight went into space though, and the whole alicorn thing seemed to just come out of nowhere, but I think the writers did a good job considering what they had to work with. Season 4 is going to be very different, and I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen next. Out of all the episodes in this season, this one could very well turn out to be my favorite, depending on how well the songs hold up over time. I love musicals, so this episode was right up my alley. Long story short, beginning was awesome, ending was a little weird, but the songs were great, so that makes up for it. Next week, I'll be reviewing my other favorite episode from Season 3, so tune in next time for another review. I'll see you next time.